The meeting is closed to the public due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the stay-at-home public health order in place. The meeting is being held via video conference and is live streamed in order for members of the public to watch the meeting in real time. For the conduct of this meeting, I'm exercising my power under Section 226 D of the Local Government Act 1993 to suspend the Code of Meeting Practice procedure for councils to submit to council 5 business days prior to the meeting a request to attend via audio-visual link, and for this attendance to be resolved by council. This is to allow for the meeting to be held via video conference due to the stay-at-home public health order in place for the state of New South Wales. This council meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and the Mayor's now in trouble for blocking someone. For this council meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and recorded and published online via council website. To those present in the meeting today, by participating in this public meeting, you are consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded and published. The Mayor and or the General Manager have the authority to pause the live stream if comments or debate are considered defamatory or otherwise inappropriate for publishing. Participants are advised that they may be subject to legal action if they engage in unlawful behaviour or commentary. I've moved to item 1A, request for councillors to attend via video conference. As I stated earlier, I'm exercising my power under Section 226 of the Local Government Act to suspend the Code of Meeting Practice procedure in order for this meeting to be held via video conference due to the stay-at-home public health order in place for the state of New South Wales. Item 2, apologies and granting leave of absence for which there is none. We'll move to item 3, the prayer. Councillor Adams.
Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council. Direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and true welfare of the people of the council area, our state and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Councillor Gallagher, would you like to do the acknowledgement of country?
Yes, I acknowledge the traditional owners upon the land upon which we meet and pay our respect to those elders, past, present and emerging.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher. I'll now move to item 5, minutes for confirmation. The minutes of the ordinary meeting of the Council of the City of Broken Hill held the 25th of August 2021 be confirmed. Do I have a mover?
I'll move that way.
Councillor Gallagher, seconder. Councillor Clark. Is there any debate? Councillor Adams, did you have a...
No, I'm fine, thank you, Member.
Okay, do you want to clear your tick? Thank you. If there's no debate, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Mayor Turley, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Cool, Councillor Allgate, Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Brown, Councillor Page, Councillor Clark, Councillor Adams, and Councillor Nolan. You haven't voted yet, Councillor Nolan.
Got his hand up.
Can you use the tick box because I don't see all the screen?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we're just having a bit of trouble at this end with that, getting that box to come up. Now we've got it.
Thank you. And did I get Councillor LeCour?
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor LeCour. Thank you for that. Sorry, it's just if you can clear your boxes, I appreciate that. That's unanimous vote. I'll move on to item 6, disclosures of interest. Councillor, go around the room. Councillor Gallagher.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have a conflict of interest, so I haven't got it in front of me. It's the Traffic Committee report. I'm a member of I'm the board member of the CUC, and I'll be leaving the meeting for a short period of time while that's been discussed. That's my only conflict of interest, and non-pecuniary. It's just I'm a board member of the CUC.
Thank you. Is there any other disclosures of interest from councillors or staff? No. Thank you for that, Councillor Gallagher. We'll now move to the Merrill Minute. Councillors, I'll move this Merrill Minute, item 1, the Merrill Minute number 9/21, dated September 14th. This Merrill Minute relates to the amendments to the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. And as I move it, I'm just going to say for Lisa for the minutes, I move item 1, 2, 3. When we get to 4, it's actually Roy Butler, the state member, not Mark Colton. And then item 5, 6, 7. Do I have a seconder for the Merrill Minute? Thank you, Councillor Brown. Councillors, the local government New South Wales has raised great concern about these proposed amendments to the planning and assessment amendments, and in particularly what it will mean for local government when local government will not benefit in a lot of ways from any contributions made by developers. When I say benefit, what I mean is that the contributions are used to support our infrastructure. And although local government in Broken Hill probably doesn't have that greater contribution, we are aware that there is quite a substantial battery about to be developed here. Those contributions do make a significant, dent into, well, not a dent, but a contribution to any of our infrastructure builds. It is a case that as we see Broken Hill growing, if we don't have the capacity to have a contribution from the developers, and that this funds goes to the state government, it's not like the government is stopping this, the contribution will go to the state government, then this means it'll be a greater cost to ratepayers. It makes an offset to our infrastructure build. It reduces the stress on ratepayers. And certainly, as we know, the developers will be making a contribution, but it will go to the state. This motion comes from local government in South Wales, who are really saying we need to be united from Broken Hill to Sydney and for all the councils in between. And I ask for your support. Councillor Kennedy, you're speaking against the Merrill Minute.
I move an amendment, Madam Mayor.
What's the amendment, councillor?
That
Let's go slow for Lisa, thank you.
That this be deferred to the next meeting and a report be prepared outlining what impact the legislation will have directly on the Broken Hill City Council financially and other.
Councillor Kennedy's moved the amendment. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Allgate. Councillor Kennedy, do you want to speak to the amendment?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I'll put the amendment. All those in favour? Councillor, I'll just go, all those in favour is Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Allgate. Against is Mayor Turley, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Adams, Councillor Cool, Councillor Clark, Councillor Brown, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Page. The amendment's lost. I'll go back to the motion. Thank you, councillors. If there's no further debate, we'll just clear all the buttons. Sorry, I couldn't hear who's speaking.
Madam Mayor,
Listen.
Hand up now.
Sorry, Councillor Kennedy, your sound is not good at the moment. We can't hear you. Sorry, Councillor Kennedy, we can't hear you. And I think you might be frozen as well.
I'll change the,
And here.
Sorry, we can't hear you, Councillor Kennedy.
What's he saying?
yeah, I'm putting it on.
You might
There we
need
go.
to leave and come back in because it's you're frozen. We'll just give Councillor Kennedy a moment to join us again. He seems to have frozen and having trouble. Councillor Kennedy, you're back. Do you want to speak against the motion?
No, it was a question, Madam Mayor. So what is the financial impact that the legislation will have on the Broken Hill City Council?
Well, so, Mr. General Manager, in terms of contributions, and in particular, you know, the proposal for this, which we're very pleased to hear the announcement for AGL, do you want to give us any updates of the contribution?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I don't have the direct financial impacts, and it's a little bit hard to come to that conclusion at the moment because obviously it'll be on all new developments that come through. So, for instance, any new development such as Audi, where there is a development contribution, I believe that was in excess of $100,000 that would have been contributable council if that development had have gone ahead, rather than that coming into council's restricted reserves for public infrastructure would be given to the state government, and then they would basically redistribute that back out to the regions for community infrastructure. So that would be the impact, but without any current developments on foot, we can't actually put in what those financial impacts will be, but it will impact all new large development that is approved by council.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Mr. General Manager. Councillor Kennedy?
Yeah, so from what I got from that is that they're going to collect the money from the developers and then redistribute it to council. So there's a chance that that money collected in Sydney, where all the big development applications go, could be redistributed to the Broken Hill City Council. So
Are you speaking against the
do we
motion?
know what the do we know whether the impact is going to be a net positive or a net negative to Broken Hill Council, or do we not know anything about this legislation and how it's going to?
Legislation will be a net negative. If it will be a negative if it gets up, because we won't get the contribution and will be proportionally in competition with the state government. So thank you. I'm just going to go to sorry. Councillor Nolan, did you have a question?
I was going to speak in favour of the motion because I think we've had a speaker against. Is that the case?
Oh, no, I think Councillor Kennedy was asking a question.
Just ask questions.
I'll have to hold my thunder for the moment then, unless there's someone who wishes to speak against the motion.
Okay, Councillor Kennedy is speaking against the motion.
I spoke against the motion, Madam Mayor.
Sorry, couldn't hear you, Councillor.
Joy. At no stage did I speak against it. I wanted information about what the cost was to the community, what was the direct cost to the Broken Hill City Council, negative or positive. So I didn't speak against it.
Yeah, no, I know that. That's what I said. Are you speaking against it? No. Okay, thank you. You're just having trouble with your connection tonight. You're frozen again, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Not much I can do about it, Madam.
No, I know. I've just said previously, Councillor Kennedy, I had to get to Telstra to work on my connection during the week. Okay, there's no further debate. I'll put the motion. All those in favour. Mayor Turley. Councillor Kennedy. Councillor Brown. Councillor Nolan. Councillor Gallagher. Councillor LeCool. Councillor Clark. Sorry, I'm just seeing Councillor Allgate and Councillor Adams. You haven't voted yet. Councillor Adams. Councillor Page. And Councillor Adams, we may have lost her. Are you on mute, Councillor Adams? We just need you to vote.
Madam Mayor, the green tick keeps dropping out.
Okay.
I put it up 4 times. And
Okay,
it keeps
thank
dropping
you.
out.
It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, we'll move to the reports and we'll move to item 1, Broken Hill City Council report number 151/21, dated July 20, page 34, the election of the deputy mayor. I have a motion, and this is because we need to resolve the report first before we go to the election. So can I have a mover for the report? Councillor Brown. Thank you, Councillor Nolan, and moved by Councillor Nolan, second by Councillor Brown. Can I put the motion? All those in favour? So I'm just going to read it out. Mayor Turley, Councillor Adams, Councillor Clark, Councillor Page, Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Brown, Councillor Allgate, Councillor LeCour and Councillor Gallagher. Thank you. It's a unanimous vote. I'm now going to hand over to the returning officer, the General Manager, Mr. Jay Nankerville, who will conduct the election for the Deputy Mayor. Mr. Nankerville.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. We received one nomination, has been received for the position of the Deputy Mayor, being Councillor Adams, nominated by Councillor Gallagher and Councillor Page. The nomination was received on the 24th of September 2021 at 10:55 a.m. Just prior to going to the vote, is there any other further nominations from councillors at this present point in time? And if there is, if we can have those emailed through. Councillor Kennedy asking a question.
I'll move that Councillor Allgate be nominated.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. What was that, Councillor
I
Kennedy?
move that Councillor Allgate be nominated for Deputy Mayor.
Do we have a second person for that, please? Is it Councillor Allgate? All right. All right, following that, councillors, we have a second nomination, which is Councillor Allgate, nominated by Councillor Allgate and Councillor Kennedy. Nomination was received on the 29th of September 2021 at 6:48 p.m, just prior to the election. The voting will be open using the video conference show of hands for votes for Deputy Mayor for the period from 29th September 2021 council meeting until the New South Wales local government elections to be held on the 4th of December 2021. So we'll go with the first nomination in order of nominations received. So if councillors could please use the green tick who are voting for Councillor Adams. Okay, we have Councillor Adams, Councillor Clark, Mayor Turley, Councillor Page, Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Nolan. That's 8 votes in total. So there's no need for a show of hands for Councillor Allgate. I declare Councillor Christine Adams as Deputy Mayor for the period from 29th of September 2021 council meeting until the New South Wales local government elections to be held on the 4th of December 2021. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor Christine Adams, on your appointment.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
Mayor.
GM. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. And can I ask the councillors to give a clap of congratulations to Councillor Adams on being reappointed Deputy Mayor for 65 days. Well done. Okay, thank you, everyone. We move to item 2, Broken Hill City Council report number 152/21, disclosures of interest returns, page 39. Do I have a mover?
Move that way.
Move for Councillor Gallagher. Seconder. Councillor Clark. Councillor Gallagher, did you want to speak to the motion?
No, Madam Mayor, it speaks for itself.
Okay, thank you for that. If there's no debate, I'll put the motion. All those in favour and against, I'll give councillors a moment. So Mayor Turley in favour, Councillor Adams, Councillor Clark, Councillor Page, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Brown. It's a unanimous vote, councillors. Thank you for that. Move to item 3. Broken Hill City Council report number 153/21, adoption of the Broken Hill Cultural Plan for 2021-2040. This is page 41. Do I have a mover? Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Clark. Seconder. Councillor Nolan. Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
Look, I think it speaks for itself. It's a very good summary there, and it was good to see that there were some submissions from the public. I went to a number of engagement sessions. People seemed to be quite enthused about giving their views, and they didn't hold back. They said what they liked about Broken Hill, and they were certainly forthcoming in things that could be improved. I think that we seem to have a very good report here.
Thank you. Any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? That's a unanimous vote, councillors. Thank you for that. Move to item 4, Broken Hill City Council report number 154/21, adoption of the draft library policies, page 188. Councillor Adams, you're moving that way. Seconder.
Yes, thank you.
Councillor Clark. Councillor Adams, do you want to speak to the motion?
Just it's an excellent policy for one of our businesses that is doing so well, and we'll be very pleased to see it open full time.
Thank you.
It's a good policy.
Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against? So in favour, Mayor Turley, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Cool, Councillor Brown, Councillor Adams, Councillor Page, Councillor Clark, and against is Councillor Allgate and Councillor Kennedy. Thank you. I declare that motion carried. I move to item 5, Broken Hill City Council report number 155/21. This is the adoption of the draft revised Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery collection management policy, page 215. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Clark. Seconder. Councillor Brown. Councillor Clark, would you like to speak to the motion?
The motion basically is just has a small revision to go into the Regional Art Gallery collection management policy, which has already been through council. And the revision has come about because when a painting has or an artwork has been deaccessioned, it can go back to the donor, and that is the usual means that is employed. However, in the case that the donation was made in the first place to the art gallery under the government's cultural gifts program, then in fact the artwork cannot go back to the donor because the donor has already received a benefit under tax. So therefore that had to be put into the policy, and that is all that has happened really. It has simply been inserted into the policy where it should be in its correct place.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. Well explained. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? So Councillor Nolan, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor LaCool, Mayor Turley, Councillor Brown, Councillor Page, Councillor Clark, Councillor Adams, and against is Councillor Kennedy and Councillor Allgate. I declare that motion carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move to item 6, Broken Hill City Council report number 156/21. This is the draft support policy for the second round of public exhibition. It's page 228. Do I have a mover for this? Do I have a mover for this report? For this policy?
I can't get this thing.
Councillor Adams, second by Councillor Clark. Councillor Adams, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, Madam Mayor, it's self-explanatory. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Thank you. It's a unanimous vote, councillors. Thank you for that. We'll move to item 7, Broken Hill City Council report number 157/21, the review of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee Charter and the Office of Local Government Consultation Draft Guidelines for new risk management and the internal audit framework for councils and the joint organisations. This is on page 243. I'll just wait to clear the voting from the last vote. Thank you, everyone. Do I have a mover for this?
I'll move that way, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gallagher, who's a member of the committee. Seconder, Councillor Clark. Councillor Gallagher, do you want to speak to the motion?
Only that we just reviewed the policy. Everything's in vogue. It's a very, very good committee to be on. It just looks after not just the audit and risk management, it goes into a lot more than that, and I'll just commend the recommendations.
Thank you. Is any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? So Mayor Turley, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Cool, Councillor Brown, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Page, Councillor Clark, Councillor Adams, and against Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Allgate. Thank you, councillors. I declare that motion carried. We'll now move to item 8, Broken Hill City Council report number 158/21. This is the draft annual financial statements, page 371. Do I have a mover for this? A mover for the draft financial statements?
Oh, keeps coming. Come back.
Councillor Brown, seconder Councillor Clark. Thank you. Councillor Brown, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, Madam Mayor. Just remind everyone that these are unaudited financial statements, so we'll wait and see when we have the finalised documents in a couple of months or next month or whenever it is.
Thank you. Mr. General Manager, when will we go through that process with the auditor?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So these, subject to tonight's resolution, they'll be referred to audit. They'll go to Council's Audit Risk and Improvement Committee around the 12th of October, with the final statements presented to Council on the final Council meeting in October, so in 1 month's time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. Is any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
No, I've lost it.
So Councillor Mayor Turley, Councillor Adams, Councillor Clark, Councillor Brown, Councillor Page, Councillor Cool, Councillor Gallagher and Councillor Nolan, against Councillor Allgate and Councillor Kennedy. Declared that motion carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move to item 9, Broken Hill City Council report number 159/21, page 380. This is the COVID-19 preliminary impacts to budget and other major projects. Do I have a mover for this report? Councillor Adams, seconder. Councillor Clark. Before I move to Councillor Adams to speak for the motion, Mr. General Manager, is there anything you want to raise before we go into debate for this motion?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I don't believe so. I think it's all in the report. Just to note that there will be further analysis that will be presented to Council with further details around the actual expenditure impacts and further line item reviews on the revenue impacts through the quarterly 1 budget review process. And given now that there's some further clarity around New South Wales pathway out of lockdowns and what that looks like, gives our finance team a much better idea of estimating and budgeting for the remainder of the financial year to give Council much more figures that they can put their fingers on much clearer. So that's probably it. At the end of October, we'll have a much better idea of the impacts that have caused over the last 3 months and a better indicative budget until 30th of June 2022.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. I'll go to debate. Councillor Adams, do you want to speak to the motion?
Mayor, council is in the same situation as businesses and individuals throughout Australia, but unfortunately, this is the world we're living in at the moment. Hopefully, we will see us come out of it a little bit clearer, as the GM said, when we are further into the financial analysis of where we've been and where we're going.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? So Mayor Turley, Councillor Adams, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Clark, Councillor Brown, Councillor Page, Councillor Cool, Councillor Gallagher. Speakers against, Councillor Allgate, Councillor Kennedy. Declare the motion carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move to item 10, Broken Hill City Council report number 160/21, page 384, minutes of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on the 19th of August. Do I have a mover? Councillor Nolan.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Nolan, second by Councillor Gallagher. Councillor Nolan, do you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Gallagher and I seem to take turns doing this because we really believe in what the Audit and Risk Improvement Committee is all about and what we've been able. I beg your pardon? Somebody came in. Anyway.
If you're not speaking, if you have your mute on, it's just that we can hear a voice just then.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor. As I was saying, the Audit Risk Improvement Committee does fantastic work in getting the whole of council moving in the right direction and protecting our best interests by minimising risk and improving in the areas where we can, both financially, practically, health and safety wise. There isn't really any aspect of council that we don't look at in terms of the day-to-day running of the operational side, as well as the overall procedures that we need to have in place. So having said all that, it's no wonder that Councillor Gallagher and I take turns in moving this report, because this committee does such good work, and I commend the minutes to you, and good reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nolan. And just a reminder to all the councillors that there is observer status if you ever want to go and observe these meetings. And we do have quite a few of the councillors that do that. Speakers against. If you just want to lower your hand, Councillor Nolan, or clear your hand. Thank you. No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. Move to item 11, Broken Hill City Council report number 161/21, report dated 10th of September 2021, the investment report for August. This is on page 395. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Nolan, seconder. Councillor Clark. Councillor Nolan, do you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Really good to see us compliant in all areas, considering the difficulties that we face, both as a nation, a state and a council around COVID and with the very vagaries of the international money market. Nevertheless, our finance people in Broken Hill City Council do a great job of staying ahead of the curve in terms of investment movements, so that we get the best bang for our residents and ratepayers' buck in terms of investment, and making sure that monies we need to access through borrowings are at the best rate. So overall, another good report for a very well functioning finance department. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nolan. Is there any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against. Mayor Turley, Councillor Nolan, Councillor Clark, Councillor Page, Councillor Adams, Councillor Brown, Councillor Cool, Councillor Gallagher, and I did say Councillor Nolan, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it moved right in the middle of the vote. And then against is Councillor Kennedy and Councillor Allgate. I declare the motion carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll move to item 12, Broken Hill City Council report number 162/21. This is the Tourism Marketing, Branding and Campaign Report, page 408. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Clark, I think it was, in Councillor Adams. Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
Yes, this looks like a very good presentation here, Madam Mayor, and certainly I think coming in at the right time for us with the restrictions on COVID being eased. It's interesting to see how the history of this campaign and how it's been interrupted at various times by COVID. However, it looks as if it's pretty good for the future.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. Any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Oh, God. Here we go.
It's Mayor Turley, Councillor Brown, Councillor Clark, Councillor Adams, Councillor Page, Councillor Cool, Councillor Gallagher, Councillor Nolan, against Councillor Allgate and Councillor Kennedy. Declared that carried. Thank you, councillors, and a terrific resource for everyone to use. Item 13, Broken Hill City Council. Oh, sorry, we'll just move Councillor Gallagher out to the waiting room for this item. I understand he has a non-pecuniary interest. And I'll ask the General Manager to let me know when he's been moved to the waiting room.
Councillor Gallagher's in the waiting room, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. So I move to item Broken Hill City Council report number 163/21, minutes of the local traffic committee meeting number 417, held Tuesday 7th of September, page 453. Councillor Brown is moving that way as our representative on the committee, and Councillor Adams is seconding that. Councillor Brown, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, Madam Mayor, unless there are any questions.
No. Is any questions? Any speakers against? No. Councillor Adams, do you have a question or?
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
That's okay. I'll put, if there's no speakers against, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against, I declared it carried unanimous. Thank you, councillors. And just to let the councillors know that our resolution regarding the preschool and signage has gone to the Local Government New South Wales as a motion for conference. Move to item 14. I'll bring Councillor Gallagher back. Councillor Gallagher, that motion was endorsed. Thank you,
Madam.
Thank you. Move to item 14, Broken Hill City Council report number 164/21. This is the action list on page 471. Do I have a mover?
Happy to move it, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Gallagher, seconder. Councillor Nolan. Councillor Gallagher, did you want to speak to it or raise any issues?
No, raise any issues, Madam Mayor. It's good to see we've got plenty of green. What we've been doing, it's good to see the action list is reducing. That's about it.
Thank you. Any speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Just give everybody a moment. That's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, I'm going to move to committee reports. And the first one, it's quite substantial, and this is the Broken Hill City Council. Sorry, I'm just hearing someone speak. If you
Just said move 1 to 3, Madam Mayor.
no, I want to deal with item 1 first. Thank you, Councillor Adams. So item 1 is the Broken Hill City Council report number 165/21. And this is the annual and financial reports from our 355 committees. And if I get a mover for that, Councillor Adams, are you happy to do that?
Happy to do that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Seconder, Councillor Clark. Look, I just wanted to thank all those committee members for the work they do. Certainly you get to this time of the year and we ask them to put in their annual financial report. I'm sure the councillors have all read these reports, but if you think about from a cultural perspective as we pass tonight, from the Friends of the Flora and Fauna, the Art Gallery, the Heritage Committee, the BIU BAM Memorial Oval, Picton, Norfolk's Sports Ground, Ridderford Arboretum, Alma Oval. They are all making sure that...
Point of order, Madam Mayor. The mover of the motion is Councillor Adams. I do believe.
As the Mayor and the Chair, thank you. I'll take the point of order.
The person to speak is the mover of the motion, and you know the rules of debate. We have a speaker for, we have a speaker against. It's not a mayoral minute. Councillor Adams has moved the motion. You, as the Mayor, have started speaking, I'm not sure, in favour or against or whatever, but it's certainly inappropriate as the chairman of the meeting.
Thank you, Councillor. You're right. My apologies for adding that support. Councillor Adams, would you like to speak?
We'll just add my thanks to all those that you have mentioned. And I think it's quite appropriate for the Mayor to thank them in person. They've all done a wonderful job. Thank you. And I hope that they'll be with us for many years to come, all the volunteers.
Well said. Thank you, Councillor Adams. If there's speakers against? No speakers against. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We'll move to item 2, Broken Hill City Council report. And Councillor Adams, you might want to jump in here. Broken Hill City Council report number 166/21. The minutes of the Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery Advisory Committee, page 557, held August 4th. Do I have a mover?
Move 2 and 3, Madam Mayor.
Move 2 and 3, Councillor Adams. Seconder, Councillor Clark. Is there any debate? No debate. I'll put that. All those in favour? And against? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. The councillors will now move back to item 13, questions taken on notice from the previous council meeting for which there was none. Item 14, questions for next meeting arising from items on the agenda. Can I call for, although we'll capture questions during the meeting, is there any additional questions relating to items on the agenda?
Just one from me, Madam Mayor.
Yes, what's that, councillor?
It has a direct impact on council's finances, and I'm sure council has already started doing a submission. But my question is that has council put in a submission to IPART's or Essential Energy's proposed increase through IPART for water charges for Broken Hill?
Thank you, Councillor Kennedy. We'll take that question.
I'm sure that could be answered now, couldn't it, Madam Mayor?
Well, they are questions for the next meeting, and I'm sure you're right. I'm sure the General Manager would say absolutely, and there will be a workshop with councillors to capture their process. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
So I'm just having some of the conversation broken up. Thank you for that.
thank-
Sorry, Councillor Kennedy.
I said thank you, Madam
Oh,
Mayor.
That's okay, thanks. And
No,
as I said, we normally do have a workshop around that. Move to item 15, confidential matters. We'll call for a motion to go into closed session. Can I have a mover?
Move that way.
Move Councillor Gallagher, seconder. Councillor Nolan, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Could we just, all those in favour? Councillor Page, could you vote, please? Thank you, it's a unanimous vote. We'll wait we'll thank everybody for listening. As people are aware, we're going to stop the live